Hello and welcome to Anatomy with Dr. P. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at the organs of the lower gastrointestinal tract. This includes our small intestine and the large intestine. We're going to start by looking at the small intestine first. Our small intestine can be divided down into three subregions. The first subregion is located up here where the small intestine meets the stomach. This C-shaped region is called the duodenum or duodenum. So the duodenum is going to receive acidic chyme as it travels from the stomach and enters into this small intestine. Now, the word duodenum or duodenum means 12 fingers, because if you stack 12 fingers side by side, that's roughly the same length as the duodenum. Now, one thing I should note is that the duodenum is actually considered to be part of our upper gastrointestinal tract. We're talking about it today because it happens to form the first region of the small intestine. Our second region of the small intestine is located down in this portion. This region is called the jejunum. Jejunum means empty. And that's because this region of the small intestine is often empty when we do a dissection. The last and final region of the small intestine is this region down here, which is referred to as the ileum. Now, one thing I want to make note of, ileum, when referring to the small intestine, is spelled I-L-E-U-M, ileum. If we spell ileum I-L-I-U-M, then we're talking about the upper portion of the hip bone. So remember, ileum in the small intestine has an E in it. Now, ileum means flanks because this portion of the small intestine is close to the flanks of the body. Now, let's talk about a couple features that we can find when we look inside the small intestine. And we're going to go back up to our duodenum to see the first one. When we look in this portion of the small intestine where the wall has been cut away, we can notice these folds. These are the circular folds or pilicae circularis, and they really have two important functions in the body. First, as the acidic chyme enters in from the stomach, those circular folds are going to cause that chyme to spiral through the small intestine. That slows the passage of chyme down and gives the small intestines more time to do absorption. Second, by folding the inner lining of the small intestine, the circular folds are going to increase the surface area. Remember, more surface area means more absorption. Now, if we look down at the end region of our small intestine, here we find our ileum. And as the ileum comes over to meet the large intestine, it forms a sphincter. This sphincter is called the ileocecal valve. Ileo refers to the ileum of the small intestine, and cecum is the first portion of our large intestine. So the ileocecal valve controls the release of chyme from the ileum of the small intestine into the cecum of the large intestine.